Hi, we are Group 5. We are Saebum Park, Saebum Lee, and Eunjun Lee. This is Index. Our presentation consists of introduction, main part, conclusion, and references. Now, I'd like to start by two movies. Can you find the common things between them? Yes, these movies are scientific fictions which deal with the artificial intelligence, which is called AI in short. But these days, it is not anymore the fiction. It becomes real because the research team in KAIST realizes the brain system into computer system. This is necessary part to develop AI technology because modeling the human's brain into computer is the first step to get in that field. So let me tell you how this works briefly. In the past, we didn't know how the brain works exactly. It means that even if we know the input and the output of some behavior, we still don't know about the exact mechanism which can tell how it works in what path. We call this model black box model because, as you know, it seems dark in unknown world. For an easy example, we couldn't know how the drugs work in specific neuron unit. To overcome such limitations, scientists tried to analyze the biological data into mathematical and computational data. By this effort, scientists could make the black box model to the white box model, which shows how brain works specifically in some situations. And now I will show you how this research works by a simple diagram. The process of the research consists of 3 steps. First, formulation step. In this step, we define mathematical equations and construct fundamental structure by empirically analyzing biological data. By doing this, we can interpret the biological data numerically. After formulation, simulation is conducted. By using the mathematical data that we gained in formulation step, we simulate it and find some differences compared with biological data, which is original data. Finally, in feedback step, we modify some wrong parameters or formulations that we found in simulation step and minimize the errors. Now, Eunjun Lee will explain the 2 examples of this research.
This model is the simplest model in computational science. Through this example, I want to demonstrate how can we design the model for natural phenomena. To design simple neural model, we first know about the neuron. As you know, neuron is composed of 3 parts: dendrite, axon, axon terminal. Furthermore, neuron generates 2 types of signal, electrical and chemical. Now, we will focus on electrical signal which called action potential. Action potential has 3 states: resting, depolarization, and high polarization. Depolarization is strongly associated with sodium channel, and hyperpolarization is strongly related to potassium channel. And this figure is the overall mechanism of action potential. Then, the formation of previous structure can be expressed in circuit form, like that picture, and overall mechanism can be formulated by upper mathematical equation. Then, after simulated, like below graph, implemented action potential is almost identical with real action potential. In summary, example 1 displays how can we visualize natural phenomena such as action potential in computer. Next, I prepared another example to illustrate how computational neuroscience can be used in more generally. Before I explain about disease, look at the cycle. It's your story. People always promise themselves and always flake out. Why? Why is it so hard to quit drinking? Because you're a smart person. Your neuron can be run by pattern information. So, if you have been drinking for the past few days, neuron record the information about alcohol and it makes people to desire alcohol. That is neuron's intrinsic property, and people call it neuronal plasticity. However, if you get Alzheimer's disease, your neuron lost neuroplasticity and some patterned information gradually disappear. Despite incidence rate of Alzheimer's disease is high, it's not completely cured until now because we don't know about the cause of its disease. But in recent, neuroscientists can find the one of cause of Alzheimer's disease using computational neuroscience. The cause is change of STDP signal. STDP signal is a signal that takes charge of neuron plasticity. Neuroscientists change its formation into two ways. One is symmetric change and the other is non-symmetric change. The result from those two changes are as follows. First, the neuron keep their own characteristics and can make memory when there is symmetric change. However, in opposite case, they can't make memory and lose their own characteristics. According to this example, they can find the one of critical cause of Alzheimer's disease by simulation. Until now, I announced two examples of neural model. Since now, Saebum Lee will introduce about advantage of our research and further improvement.
Now I will talk about the advantage of computational neuroscience and the use of our future. But before discussing them, let's summarize briefly what we've looked at. We talked about the convergence of the technology, which is black box to white box, and some examples of the application. Then you may have a question of why we use this technology. So from now on, I will discuss the advantage of computational method and its use of the future. With the traditional method, which is black box model, it costs a lot, requires so much time and many instruments. So there must be some constraints. Also, because of the external environment, a few experimental variables and errors can occur. However, by using a computational method, it's really free from these constraints. Furthermore, this is the experiment which is conducted virtually by a computer, so we can easily control the variables and parameters. In more detail, in case of real experiment, a new experiment is needed even if there is just one condition to change. But in case of simulation by a computer, we only need to change just some numbers on the computer. Different from the previous biological experiment, in order to do the simulation, we should schematize the brain regionally and construct a mathematical model, so it's possible to analyze more systematically and by stages. We call it simply systematic and regional analysis. Now we'll move on to its application of our future. Previously, we just talked about in case of our brain. But the most important thing that we must notice is that by computational method, we can not only build a model of our brain, but also that of our body. With this, we can also model the disease which belongs to our body and use it to treat the disease. For example, as you can see on the screen, each person's intrinsic parameter can be set, so we can get disease model and embody personalized medicine to treat it. Moreover, as Saebum already talked in the introduction, if schematizing our whole brain structure is possible, we can embody the virtual brain in circuit. And this means that it will be also possible to realize AI or humanoid. These are our references we used, and thank you for watching our video.